Hello everyone, this is Daniel with FitnessBlender.com, and today we've got a special 1,000 calorie workout for you to celebrate our 5 million subscriber mark. So every single time we hit a million mark, we do another 1,000 calorie workout, and this one is going to be epic. So we've got a full, a little bit over an hour worth of a workout. We've got warm-up, cool-down, HIIT, strength training, and core all wrapped into one. So you are going to be jello by the time you're done with this routine. So thank you so much for subscribing to us, and thank you so much for helping us get to 5 million subscribers. We couldn't have done it without you guys, and we are very, very appreciative for your support and your viewage. So with that said, we're going to be starting into this routine, and all you're going to need for it is an optional exercise mat for that core section, and you're going to want some dumbbells for the strength section if you want to do the harder strength training style. If you want, you can also do it with just body weight, so you don't need any equipment at all. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, everybody, our warm-up is pretty standard. We're doing 30 seconds for each one. We've got 10 different exercises to go through. Let me go ahead and get my timer started here. We're starting off with a lateral step plus an arm cross. So it's nice and easy. Let's take a nice deep breath. So the point of warming up is just start moving those joints around, try to get some blood flow going, and trying to get your respiration rate up a little bit higher, get a little more oxygen into your blood. Just slowly step back and forth, crossing those arms back and forth across your chest. Make sure you have a different arm on top every single time. Try to work as much of a range of motion as you can with every single movement. So you're just kind of stepping back and forth just to kind of warm up those ankles, but those arms are what you're focusing on. All right, we're doing a slow butt kicker plus a push-pull. So foot comes up to your heel is your butt kicker. Nice and slow, you're gonna press out, pull in, out, and in. So work against yourself through this. It's not just the motion, it's also contracting those muscles. So squeeze your chest and your back as you do that push-pull, and squeeze that quadricep from your thigh and hamstring back your thigh as you do that butt kicker. All right, we're doing a high knee march plus a twist. So as one knee comes up, you're gonna rotate towards that knee, and then same thing off to the other direction. So knee comes up and rotate, back and forth, just alternate sides. Keep those lungs open, start with a limited range of motion, especially if you're really cold, and then just start working into a larger and larger range of motion. Toe touch sweeps next, so feet a little wider than shoulder width apart, you go down one leg, sweep across to the other, up, kind of lean back a little, right back the other direction. Just keep alternating back and forth. Doing an alternating warrior next, so feet nice and wide, turn one foot off to the side. You're gonna drop out, come up, switch feet, and off to the other side. Just keep alternating back and forth. If you want to add a little extra arm motion into it, it's gonna be down, up in the center, down, back out to the side, up in the center. Back up to the center, feet just about shoulder width apart, you're going to squat. As you squat, those arms come straight up in line with your torso, and then right back down again to your sides. Squat, arms come up, nice flat back. Feel like you're kind of tilting that chest up towards the wall in front of you. Practice nice clean form even though you're not using any weight. Keep those lungs open, nice full, deep range of motion as much as you can. Let that one relax. We're doing a leg swing next, so we're going to start with your left leg first. Just nice and slow, bring it up in front, like you're trying to touch that toe. Swing it back, try not to let it touch. Right back up again. The slower you go, the easier it's going to be for balance. Just take your time. Try to get as much range of motion out as you can. Keep that leg relatively straight. Same thing on the other side. So that right leg this time, foot out, Stretch it back. Keep those lungs open. Probably noticing your breathing is increasing ever so slightly. Might even already be getting a little bit warm. Got a boxer shuffle coming up next. Just take your time. All right, boxer shuffle up on those toes. Just shift back and forth between left and right foot. Just stay up on the ball of your foot. Just nice and light, bouncing back and forth. Just trying to warm up that ankle complex, those calves. I'm doing a jumping jack next, our last one of our warm-up. Keep those lungs open. And start into it. Keep those arms rigid, that shoulder rigid. Start out relatively slow, and then as you go through it, as you feel more comfortable, as you feel you have the control, start speeding it up. But don't let those elbows bend. Don't want to do a jumping jack like this. Keep that arm fully extended. Keep your shoulder tight. Keep those lungs open. And let it relax. All right, we'll be right back to start into our first group of HIIT. All right, everyone, our first round is going to be 3 groups of 2 different exercises apiece. Do an AB pattern, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, just a traditional Tabata style. So let me go ahead and get my timer started here. We're doing jump turns first. So I'll show you the harder version first and then the easier version. So it's when you squat and jump and rotate. You can do a full 360 if you want. Otherwise, it's just going to be a quick step back and forth. If you have to do or if you want to do a low impact or an easier version, if you can, it's a full 180 turn. Give it a second. We're going to go through lateral jumps next. All right, start out nice and wide, jump left to right. For the harder version, for the easier version, you're just going to step back and forth. Just try to keep that pace going nice and quick. A little harder, it's not that the foot drop. Otherwise, nice wide jump every single jump. And let it relax. We're going back to jump turns. Harder version, that full jump, back and forth, landing into a kind of a squatted position. Get a longer or more degrees angle of a jump if you want to make it harder. So this is just a 180 if you want to go for a full 360. Be my guest. Otherwise, easy version here. Let it relax. We've got lateral jumps again. Try to recover as best you can with that short break in between. And stay nice and low. That effort should be going left to right, not up and down. So even if you're doing the easier version, you're keeping that body really nice and low. And let it relax. All right, going to the next 2. We're doing runners with your left leg, runners with your right. So we're gonna start with your left, so all your weight on your right leg. Just gonna pump that leg back and forth. There's really no easier or harder version of this, it's just how quickly you move. So if you wanna make it a little bit harder, just try to move a little faster. If you wanna make it easier, just take your time. Let it relax. We're doing the same thing with the other leg. So all your weight on your left, moving your right. Start whatever pace is comfortable for you. Just try to keep it consistent all the way through. Faster for harder, or slower for easier. Let it relax. All right, one more of each of those. All right, all your weight on your right leg, moving your left. Just pump that knee. So left knee comes up, your right hand comes up. Keep those lungs open. Remember, slow it down if you need to, or speed it up if you can. Just make sure you're under control. All right, we're gonna do the same thing with that right leg. All your weight on your left. Pump that right leg. Remember, try to make sure you're doing the same pace on your left from right. Try not to change. Whoops. Gotta get my timing in here. Speed up if you need to, or if you can. Slow down if you want more control. You can go a little easier. All right, jumping lunges and pop squats is our last two. So similar position, squat there, lunge down, and jump, alternating those feet back and forth. Just swap them. If you need an easier version, it's just gonna be an out and back. So lunge and alternate with every single lunge. If you wanna make it harder, just make sure you get a higher jump. All right, we got pop squats next. So wide to narrow. Squat wide up, tap in the center, and back out. If you want the easier version, you're just gonna slow it down. And just alternate sides. Just make sure you're coming down to that lunge, or excuse me, that squat. All right, let it relax. Got one more of each of those. Jumping lunges first. Remember, slow it down if you need to. Just alternating lunge. Otherwise, nice high lunge every single time. Switching those feet. Try to get as much space off the ground as you can while still getting a deep lunge. Let it relax. We've got pop squats next. Feet nice and wide. Squat down, tap in the center. Remember, move slower if you need to for that easier version, or for harder, just try to jump higher. All right, let it relax. We're gonna give you a short little break. We'll come back for that second group. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and start into our second group. It's gonna be the same pattern, but new exercises. So let me go ahead and get started here on my timer. We're gonna be doing high knees first. So keep that back nice and straight, driving those knees. Ready? And begin. This is the harder version. If you need to, if you want lower impact, or you want the easier version, it's just a really quick high knee motion without lifting both those feet up off at the same time. Otherwise, try to keep it moving nice and quick. Let it relax. We got walk downs next. So we're going down into a push-up position. So drop it down, walk out with those hands, full plank, and walk it right back up. Move slowly for the easier version, move faster for the harder version. If you have pretty tight hamstrings, feel free to bend those knees, but if you can, keep them straight. All right, let that relax. Going back to those high knees next, whichever version you need to. And start it up. Nice and quick. Try to get that knee at least to hip height. Remember, slower if you need to. All right, let it relax. Back to those walk downs. All right. Walk out. And back up. Remember, faster you go, the harder it's going to be. right, 2 more exercises. We're doing a side lunge pop next, focusing just on that left leg. So feet out nice and wide. Lunge down to the left, pop it up without bending your right knee. So down and up. This should be low enough impact for pretty much anyone to do, but if you're concerned about impact or you just need a little easier, then just do the lunge motion. All right, let it relax. We're doing the same thing on the other side. Recover as best you can. Only bend your right knee. Out, pop it for the harder version. The harder you push, the harder it's going to be. Otherwise, for the easier version, feel free to go into just that side lunge. And let it relax. Same thing on both sides. Recover as best you can. Left leg, down and pop. Do whichever version feels most comfortable to you. All right, let it relax. One more on that right leg. Start them up. Keep those lungs open, no holding your breath. And let it relax. All right, 2 more exercises. Star jumps and mountain climbers. No, that's probably caused a lot of groans. Let's get them done. Squat down, jump out. This is the harder version. If you want the easier version, just squat and extend everything. Just alternate which side. Let it relax. All right, mountain climbers are next. Go ahead and drop down in that push-up position. Easier version is here. Harder version, move nice and quick. Try not to let those feet touch underneath your body for the harder version. Otherwise, a little easier is letting them touch each time. Try to keep those hips low. No doing it up here. Try to keep it low. All right, 1 more of each of those. Get those feet together. Squat down and jump. Let it relax. Mountain climbers next. Push up, move those feet back and forth, whichever pace you want. Challenge yourself. It's our last exercise before break. All right, let it relax. We're gonna do a little bit of a water break here. So if you need extra time, feel free to hit pause. Otherwise, we'll see you in just a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our 3rd group of HIIT now. Again, same relative structure, but brand new exercises once again. Let me get my timer started. You're starting off with a squat jack. So starting with those feet just a little wider than shoulder width apart. You squat down nice and low and stay there. Down nice and low, just hop in and out with those feet. The faster you go, the harder it's gonna be. If you want a slightly easier version, it's going to be staying low but stepping out with one foot at a time. If you can, stay low. Move those feet quick. Keep that back flat. And let it relax. All right, we've got a plank plus a knee, so we're going to drop down. A push-up position. You can either do a high plank or a low plank. You can do it off your knees or off those elbows, or excuse me, off those toes. Just going to pull one foot up to the side and then the other. Trying to keep those hips parallel to the ground. Just alternate left to right. Again, if you need the easier version, on those knees. And let it relax. All right, back to that squat jack. Get ready. Down nice and low. And quick in and out. Flat back. No arching your back over. And back down on the ground. Remember, you can do a high plank or a low plank. Just drawing that knee up out to the side. Or low, makes it a little harder. And let it relax. Back up. We've got Curtsy Lunge to a side leg raise next. Back and up and out to the side. Switch sides. Out to the side. Take your time. Those legs are probably starting to feel a little jelly. That's fine. Just move a little slower. If you can, move nice and fast. Whew, let it relax for just a second. Do the same thing. Sorry, we're supposed to be doing just one side at a time. All right, we'll do that for the last round. So, alternating. Up. Oops. Alternating. And up. So that curtsy lunge, keeping that back flat. Just stepping behind you just a little bit. All right, now we'll do it the right way. We're just gonna stick to one side. Back and up. Straight back again. And up. We're staying on just one side. And switch sides. Step back and across. Up and out. Back and across. Up and out. Try to keep that torso straight up and down. So you're just gonna be stepping it back and up and out with that same leg. Your right leg stays planted. And let it relax. All right, we've got rocket squats and jumping jacks next. So feet just about shoulder width apart. 3, 2, 1 as you drop and then jump. Nice and hard, then right back into it. 3, 2, 1, jump. Keep that back flat. Knees over those ankles. Relax. All right, jumping jacks next. Feet together, hands down, and jump it up. Nice quick motion. Keep that shoulder contracted. Keep those lungs open. And let it relax. All right. Another one of each one of those. Rocket squats and jumping jacks. Rocket squats first. 3, 2, 1. Jump. Keep that back flat. Alright, let it relax. Jumping jacks next. Gonna get another break. Feet together, arms down. Start them up. Just slow them down if you need to. If you're worried about impact, then just out and back. And let it relax. All right, we've got another break. We'll be right back for that fourth and final round in just a second. All right, everyone, we have one group left of these to go through. Again, same setup, but all new exercises. Going to get my timer started here. We're doing thigh slap jumps to start off with. I'll show you the easier version first. So easier version is just going to be bringing those knees up nice and quick. Harder version is nice and fast. Really hard version is a double jump. Let it relax. All right, we've got a static squat into a lunge. All right, deep breath. Squat down nice and low. Stay down, you're gonna step out into a lunge. Back to that squat. Step out into a lunge on the other side. Back to that squat. Stay low, keep that back flat. There's really no easier version of this other than being able to stand up and take breaks. All right, let it relax. Back to that thigh slap jump. Easiest version, nice and quick. Next hardest. And hardest. All right, back to that static squat to lunge. Push as hard as you can. This is our last group of HIIT. Squat down, step out, and back, step out, and back. Take a break if you need to. All right, let it relax. Next one is agility dots. Imagine 4 dots on the ground. Start on the bottom left corner. Both feet, you're going to jump top right, across, bottom right, across. So you're making the next pattern. This is the harder version. If you want to do the easier version, stay up on your toes and just step from one to the next. Try to go as hard as you can. Let it relax. Start at the opposite corner. We're gonna go up to the left this time. So the whole pattern backwards. Harder version is up, across, diagonal, across. Remember, step on those toes for the easier version. All right, doing that all over again. Starting bottom left corner. Jump for the harder version. Step on those toes for the easier version. So easier is up and across. As tight as you can on the ball of that foot. Never let that heel touch. Keep those feet nice and close together every time you step. Working on that balance and that coordination. If you can, do a quick motion. All right, start on that opposite corner, bottom right, going up to diagonally to the top left. Easier version first on those toes, up and across, and back. Remember, as hard as you can on the tip of those toes. And move it faster if you can. The larger the square, the harder it's going to be. Same thing with fast you move. All right, both directions on that one, which means we're going to burpees. All right, squat down, out, back up. For easier versions, step out, nice and slow. Just make sure you switch each time which foot starts first. All right, we're doing front jack next. Hands in front. Arms come up as legs go out. For the easier version, or low impact, just gonna be out, just from side to side. Harder version if you can. Fast you go, but still under control, the harder it gets. All right, back to burpees. Down, slow for the easier version, or fast. All right, one more front jack. Start them up. Concentrate on keeping that shoulder tight. No flailing those arms around. And try to get them back out of your field of vision at the top. All right, let it relax. That means we've got a little bit of a longer break before we come back for our strength training session. So if you're going to be using dumbbells, go ahead and grab that. You can either do this laying down or on a bench. If you have a bench, I suggest using that. But like I said, you don't need it if you don't have one. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and start our strength training session. Now, if you have dumbbells, by all means use those. If you have a bench, by all means use that, but you can lay down on the ground and do all these just laying on the ground or standing. So we're doing each one of these exercises for 45 seconds on with a 15-second rest / prep to get ready for the next exercise. So we're moving through it pretty quickly. You don't have to keep track of repetitions. So our first two exercises we're going to be doing back and forth, AB, is going to be a chest press and a squat. So get your weights ready for that. I'm going to go ahead and start my timer here. All right, chest press, I'm going to try with 32 pounds to start off with. Oh yeah. All right, start with those dumbbells right above that shoulder. Nice and slow, elbows come straight out to the sides as low as is comfortable. Right back up again. If you're going to be laying on the ground, then your elbows are obviously going to stop when they hit the ground, but go down as low as you can. If you're on that bench, it's all about where you can go with control. So a lot of people say you shouldn't go down too low, but as long as you're using the appropriate weight, you can push that full range of motion. Just take your time. Nice, slow, controlled motions. Same speed on the way down as on the way up. No slamming those weights together at the top. This is a controlled movement. And let that relax. We're doing squats next. I'm going to drop my weight just a little bit per hand. Just keep it right by my sides. Flat back, and you're going to squat straight down, right back up again. Need to turn the side. Oop, I'm hitting my bench here. Turn back. Keep that back nice and flat. Keep those lungs open. If you want to, you can even use that bench as a marker of how deep to go. Just kind of drop down, barely tap it with your butt. All right, back to chest press. And drop it down nice and slow. Now I know I'm moving pretty quick because I have these adjustable dumbbells. If you do not have them, feel free to hit pause in between to give yourself a little bit more time to set up for that next exercise. But if you can, try to move as quickly as possible between sets. Keep those lungs open. Keep that wrist right above that elbow. Keep that core tight, even though it's not really doing a whole lot. All right, back to that squat. All right, either shoulders, dumbbells at shoulders or dumbbells by your sides. Keep those feet just about shoulder width apart. Nice and slow, squat down. Right back up. Keep that back flat. Kind of push that chest out towards the wall in front of you. Making sure the angle on your shins and the angle on your chest is the same. So that weight should be evenly dispersed between heel and toe. If anything, just slightly more in that heel. Just keep it going. Nice, slow, controlled motion. Again, same speed on the way down as on the way up. And let it relax. We're gonna do a bent over row next. Drop this down just a little bit more. All right. So legs straight, flat back, tip forward. You can bend those knees a little bit if you need to. The dumbbells coming up and out to the side. Squeeze those shoulder blades together in the back. Bring those elbows up as high as you can. If you're doing this with just body weight, make sure that you're working against yourself as hard as you can. So as you lift those arms up, you're also using your chest to pull them back down simultaneously to really, really challenge those muscles. Relax and drop these off. We're doing prone leg raise. So lay down flat on that bench or on the ground. Hands either out by your hips, or if you're on a bench, you might want to grab on behind you. Legs come up, down, hover them just about ground level, right back up over top of those hips. Nice, slow, controlled motion. Again, if you are laying on the ground, just press those hands into the mat next to you. Don't put them underneath your butt. That's just cheating. You're not going to use that hip flexor or those abs anywhere near as much. Just a nice, slow, controlled motion. I'm mainly trying to focus on that hip flexor, bringing those legs up. Relax. All right, we're back to that bent over row. Use the same weight. Flat back, relatively straight leg. Bend over, arms come up, out the side, leading with that elbow. Flat back. Just under 10 seconds left. Let it relax. Another one of those leg lifts. Alright, sit down or lay down. Press that lower back against that mat, floor, or bench. Start with those feet right above those hips. Hover them just a little bit. Right back up. Those legs pretty straight, or as straight as you can. And let it relax. All right, we have shoulder press next. Let's see, just 16 on this one. A little lighter. You can stand for this if you want, or sit down, whichever. Keep that back flat, arms out to your sides, straight up over top of your head, and back down. You want those dumbbells and arms pulled back far enough that you cannot see them. If you can see them, you're starting to let those arms drift forward too far. So you either need to work on your flexibility through your shoulder, or you need to drop that weight until you can get into a position that you can control. Keep that back flat. Nice, slow, controlled motion. Ten seconds left. All right, we're doing straight leg deadlift next. Bump up my weight just a little bit. Okay, we're doing this toes in. So turn those toes facing in towards one another. Dumbbells in front, just go straight down, keep those legs straight, right back up. Down, relax. Back to that shoulder press. And again, you can see it either sit or stand. Dumbbells out to your sides, back flat. Make sure that that spine is neutral, so no arching back or rounding forward. Keep those lungs open. Concentrate on that form, nice and slow on the way up, nice and slow on the way down. If you're doing a body weight, really focus on working against yourself. Your arms should be burning by this point. All right. Back to that deadlift. And drop that weight just a smidge. So down to 24 pounds per hand. Toes facing in. Down straight. Flat back. Relatively straight leg, or straight as you can hold. Right back up. Keep that chest and that head looking towards the wall in front of you to help you keep that back flat. those lungs open. Relax. All right. One more group of exercises. We've got dumbbell pullover next. Dropping it down to 16 pounds per hand. Flat on your back again. Dumbbells facing towards one another, palms facing towards one another. Both hands drop out and come back up. Pause right above that chest and out again. Keep those core muscles tight. Keep those lungs open, no holding your breath. Control it all the way through that range of motion. You'll have a tendency to want to hold your breath because it makes your diaphragm contract, your core contract, gives you a little bit more rigidity to pull those muscles, those muscles around, pull those weights around. So it makes it a little easier. So if you keep your lungs open, those muscles have to work a lot harder. All right, we have a sumo squat next. For 24 pounds per hand on this one. So feet out really nice and wide. You drop straight down in the middle, right back up again. Keep that back flat. Ten more seconds. All right, one more of each. I'm going to drop down to 12 per hand for that pullover. I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty tired. All right, flat back. Dropping those hands over your head. Right back over top of that shoulder. If you want to make it a little bit more difficult, don't let those dumbbells touch. Keep them hovering away from each other just a little bit. Just make sure you're going the same distance down on each hand. Again, if you're doing this just body weight, make sure you're really working against yourself. It's not just the motion, it's how hard you push against yourself. You can get an incredibly good workout just working against your own muscles. You don't even need dumbbells. All right, sumo squat again. Feet out nice and wide. Drop it straight down the center. If you're doing body weight, try to really focus on not letting your knees lock out. If you're using weights, you can let those knees lock out for just a split second, but try to drop it right back down. Again, keep them soft if you can. It makes it a lot harder. You get a lot more work from those muscles. Try to get as low as you can. Push that range of motion. It's our last exercise for this group. All right, let it relax. Drop those dumbbells. We're gonna give you a little bit of a water break. Then we're gonna be right back to finish the second half of this strength training routine. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, we just have one more group of the strength training to go. All new exercises, but same rough setup. So let me go and get my timer started here. Starting off with a tricep kickback. So go ahead and grab some dumbbells for that. I'm using 12s. So nice flat back, tip straight forward. You're gonna bring those elbows up to your sides and kick those hands straight back. Keep that upper arm stationary right next to that torso. Just kicking those arms back, stopping directly underneath that elbow. Just keep those lungs open. Just keep them going. And let it relax. All right, we're doing lunges next. Stand nice and straight and tall. You're gonna step forward with one foot, down, and then alternate, down, and back up. Just keep stepping back and forth. Take your time. Control that motion. Nice and slow down. Nice and slow back up. Keep those lungs open. Keep that back flat. Let it relax. Got one more of each of those. Back to the tricep kickback. All right, flat back, tip forward. Draw those elbows to your sides. And straight back. Keep it going. Keep those elbows up. Whew, that burns. And let it relax. All right, back to those lunges. Now, as you've been working out this long, your carbohydrate stores in your muscle tissue and your liver and those cells is going to be pretty much gone. So your body's going to start trying to switch to work off of fat content. It's a lot slower process, so you're not going to have as much readily available energy. So it's going to impact how well you can work out, which is why we always do slower, more controlled motions last rather than first. Because if you did HIIT, by the time you felt like this, your chance of injury skyrockets. All right, let it relax. Moving to our next exercise is a dumbbell curl. All right, straight and tall. Keep that back neutral. Just curling those hands up to that shoulder joint, right back down. So like I said, keep in mind that you're at this point in a routine, if you haven't taken anything in carbohydrate-wise, you are going to be dragging. So adjust your weights and your speed accordingly. Basically anything over an hour, no matter what you're doing, and you're pretty much going to be guaranteed to be working in that fat burning zone because you just don't have any carbohydrate left. And let it relax. All right, we've got straight leg deadlifts next. This one is going to be with those toes Toes point out this time. So turn those toes out, straight down, straight back up. Keep that back flat. Back flat, legs pretty much perfectly straight. Just go down as low as is comfortable, as low as you have flexibility for and control of. Also keep in mind that as you get to this point where you don't have much or any carbohydrate left in your system, you're not going to be thinking as clearly either. Your brain actually starts getting sluggish. Your brain primarily works off of carbohydrate. So if you don't have any, it doesn't work as well. All right, we're going back to those dumbbell curls. Stand nice and straight and tall. Curl those hands straight up. And do a regular curl so that palm needs to be facing towards that shoulder. Keep those shoulders pulled back. Keep that elbow directly underneath that shoulder joint. As you get tired, you're going to have a tendency to want to muscle those elbows forward to make it easier. Keep them pinned back. If you need to, drop weight. Don't let your form suffer. Almost done. Relax. All right, back to that straight leg deadlift. All right. Flat back, toes out, down as far as it's comfortable. Right back up again. Keep that back flat. Don't let it arch forward. If anything, you want to feel like you're overarching backwards. That relax. All right, so both of those means we're moving on to shoulder shrugs next. Let's see, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna go 16. Woo. We're running against the time here. All right, start with those hands in front, squeeze them up, roll them back behind you, and drop. Keep them back, squeeze them up to the center, roll them forward, and drop. Just keep going back and forth. Get a nice shoulder shrug. Keep that neck neutral. Don't kick your chin forward. Try to keep it back. Keep it right above those shoulders. Keep that head right above those shoulders, that is. All right, we've got side leg raises next. If you have ankle weights, by all means, do this weighted. Otherwise, it's just gonna be body weight. Stand up nice and straight and tall. Try to keep your torso straight up and down. One leg at a time. You're gonna lift that leg out to the side. We're gonna just stay on that right leg. We'll do your left leg on that next set. Just gonna do one set per leg on this one. Keep those lungs open. Again, try to keep that torso straight up and down as you lift that leg. You don't want to lean away from it. Should feel it right up next to that hip joint, possibly above, possibly below that hip joint, maybe even a little bit into the front. Try to keep that toe facing straight forward. And let that relax. All right, we're going to do shoulder shrugs again before we go back to those leg raises. Start with them in front. Let them relax down as far as they'll go. Pinch those shoulders forward. Squeeze them up, center. Roll them back as you drop. Same thing back forward. Squeeze them up, center. Roll them forward and drop. Keep it nice and controlled. Very slow. As much range of motion as you can. Really squeeze those shoulders up towards your ears. And then at the bottom, let them drop away as far as they'll stretch. You might even feel your neck stretch a little bit with this. Just keep them going. Let it relax. All right. Back to that leg raise. This time we're doing it on the opposite side, so just your left leg. Stand up nice and straight and tall. And lift that left leg out to the side. Remember, try to keep that toe facing pretty much straight forward. Don't let it turn up. Because of the range of motion on your hip on this one, it doesn't matter how flexible you are, you're going to hit a maximum at some point where that hip is not going to let you go any higher. So be aware of that. Don't try to push past what is naturally an end of your range of motion. Ten seconds left. Just focus, keep that torso straight up and down. Let that relax. We're doing lateral raises. These are the last two exercises. Using 8 pounds for this one. We're going to keep your palms facing back behind you. Back straight up and down, neutral spine. Arms come up and out to the side. Try to get them at least to shoulder height. Anything higher than that, and that range of motion to that shoulder is going to stop you with your fingers or your hands facing back. So just focus on that form. Go as high as you can, as high as is comfortable, while still keeping those hands facing behind you. Keep those lungs open. Try to keep everything relaxed. Ten seconds left. Let it relax. All right, one more. Got straight leg deadlifts. All right, bumping that weight up just a smidge. So this one is just gonna be a regular, so feet just pointing straight forward. Palm or legs in front, or excuse me, dumbbells in front of those legs. Bend forward at those hips, keep that back flat, down as far as you can go. As you can tell, I'm getting a little punchy. No carbs left. This is when you really need to be diligent about focusing on that form, because this is where your body's going to want to slide. All right, back to lateral raises. We'll see if I can get through this with, I'm at 12, I need less weight. Go ahead and start in. Sorry, running behind here. Palms facing back, arms come up and out to the side. I wasn't sure if I was going to stay at the same weight I did last time. I accidentally went up some. That wouldn't have turned out well. You always have to know what you can get through on a set. Focus on that form. Keep everything nice and solid. 10 seconds left. All right, switching to straight leg deadlift again is our last exercise. Give myself a little extra weight here. Palms facing towards those thighs, flat back. Tip it forward from those hips. Back up, keep those legs as straight as is comfortable. Just slightly soft, you don't want to completely lock them out. Let that relax. All right. That is the last exercise for strength, but we still have our core routine left to go. So we're gonna give you a little bit of a water break. We'll be right back. Make sure you grab a mat if you need one. Otherwise, if you have a nice cushy spot to lay on the ground, you shouldn't need one. So we'll see you in just a second. All right, everyone, all we have left is our core routine. We're gonna be doing 10 different exercises. We're only going to be doing it one round or one set per exercise, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds to get ready for the next one. So let me get my timer started here. We're starting off with flutter kicks. So go ahead and lay flat on your back. Legs out straight, hands down on the ground, not under your butt. One leg comes up. And start them. Nice controlled motion. If you can, speed them up, but only if you can control it. Nice slow movement at first. Speed them up if you can. Again, no putting your hands underneath that butt. Make sure those core muscles are doing 100% of the work. Keep them going. Let it relax. All right, roll over onto your stomach. We're going to be doing chest raise next. So easier version is going to be hands tucked to your sides, then hands in front. So easiest version is here, just arching up, back down, but don't completely touch. Arch it up. Next hardest is here. Next hardest is full extension or as you go out. If you're a real glutton for punishment and you still have any energy left, by all means, grab a small weight to do this with as well. Control that motion, same speed on the way up as the way down. Those lungs open. And let it relax. We're moving to a Russian twist next. So up on your tailbone. Back nice and flat. All right, lean back, arms up in front of your chest. The further you lean back, the harder it's going to be. Just nice and slow, alternate left to right. Keep those hands directly in front of that chest the entire time. No swinging them back and forth. Just right here. Easier version is sitting up a little bit higher. Harder version, laying back, or even pulling those feet up off the ground. Whichever version you want. I don't think I have the strength left to do that one right now. At least not with clean form. Just keep focusing on that form. Nice and solid. Keep that lower back pulled up underneath you. Don't let yourself round forward. Let that relax. Got side crunch with leg raise. So start on one side, legs out completely straight. Lean forward on that hand for support. Try to keep those hips perpendicular to the ground. Going to crunch up and lift those legs at the same time. Try to keep those shoulders and hips perpendicular to the ground as you crunch up. No coming forward and rolling. If you want a little harder version of this, tuck that hand behind your head or straight up from that shoulder. Trying to put any weight in that hand that's kicked forward. It's just there for balance, not for assistance. Keep those lungs open. All right, let it relax, doing the same thing on the other side. Hand kicks forward. Other hand up on top of that hip. Start out nice and slow. Again, if you want the easier version, stay right here. You can even bend those knees to give a little less pressure as you lift up. Harder version is going to be here. And the hardest is full extension on that arm, or even holding a dumbbell. Again, if you're a glutton for punishment, if you have the strength and control left, by all means. Should be feeling this from base of rib cage to crest that hip. All right. Go into a crisscross crunch next. So again, sitting on that tailbone, lay all the way back, press that mat against the ground, one leg out, other leg up at tabletop, get a crunch up towards that knee. Alternate to the other side. Take your time. If this is too hard for you, then kick more straight up. So it's going to be up here rather than down here. The lower you drop that leg, the harder it's going to be. Same thing with the closer you can get that elbow up to that knee without pulling it in. All right, back bow crossovers next. So again, on your stomach. I'm going to start everything off to the left side, so pull those legs over, those arms over. Going to crunch up and over like you're making a half circle over an imaginary spot on the ground. Up and over. All right, let that relax. We're doing a T stabilization with a tuck. So, up on your arm and out on your toes or knee. Toes is going to be a harder one. Going to come up in a plank. So T stabilization is here. Easier version, stagger those feet. You tuck under and back up. It's 10 seconds left. And let that relax. Switch sides. Same exact thing on the other side. So full extension on that arm. Hardest version is going to get those legs all the way extended. You can also do it off your knees. So go ahead and come up, feet stacked for the hardest versions, feet staggered. This for the slightly easier. T-stabilization position, and tuck it under. Take a short pause, that T-stabilization. Line everything up and then tuck. You don't want to start letting your hips droop down or kick up. Keep a nice straight line all the way down through the center line of your body. Yeah, let that relax. All right, toe touch cross crunch is our last one. At least I hope that's our last one. Otherwise I miscounted somewhere. So toes straight up in the air. Gonna crunch up with one hand, cross over. Reaching to the outside, that opposite foot. So if your left hand comes up, it goes the outside of your right. Right hand comes up, it goes the outside of your left foot. Keep those legs straight up above those hips. Try to lock them out as best you can. Just keep it going. Let that relax. All right, we just have one thing left to go, and that is our cool down. We'll be right back to jump into that. All right, everybody, we are so close to being done. We only have 12 more exercises to go through. We're doing each one for 30 seconds apiece. So let me go ahead and get started here. All right, we are going to be doing some regular toe touch. So get those feet about shoulder width apart, completely flat back to start off with. Nice and slow, you're going to start tipping forward. Start right there with that back nice and flat. Hold it for just a second. You might feel that lower back stretching out a little bit. You're probably definitely going to feel it in those hamstrings. You want to feel it in those hamstrings, just tip over as far as is comfortable until you get a nice stretch. Then nice and slow, start rounding that back down, reaching for those toes. If you can't touch the ground, that's perfectly fine. Just go as low as you can. Still keeping those legs straight, still keeping a nice amount of tension on those hamstrings. All right, back up straight. We're going to be doing a wall chest stretch next. So fingers facing back behind you. Rotate that chest back. Should feel it through that chest. A little bit into the front of that arm. If you want to feel a little bit more in the palm of your hand, this is a good one if you have carpal tunnel issues. Stretch the palm of that hand out. Hold it right here. Just keep turning away from that hand as much as you can. Same thing on the other side. Fingers facing back behind you. Just rotate away from that hand. Then step back on that hand if you want to feel more in that palm and the forearm. If not, you just lean forward on it a little bit more and that palm and forearm will go away. Just stretch it as much as you can. Like I said, mainly focusing on stretching that chest. If you're feeling it too much in your bicep, just rotate the inside of that elbow kind of more facing forward rather than up. Sorry, up rather than forward. All right, we've got inside thigh stretch next. So feet really nice and wide. You're going to dip down, dip that hip down towards the ground. You're going to reach up over your head with the other hand. Try to get a little bit of a stretch down through that side. Keep those lungs open, no holding your breath. Same thing on the other side. Should feel it down to the inside of that thigh. Remember, it's more about dropping that hip than it is really dropping down into a lunge. That relaxed, we're doing a quad stretch next. Stand up nice and straight and tall. Bring one foot back behind you. If you need to, lean against the wall or back of the couch. Squeeze that heel to your butt. Pull that knee back behind you. Keep that torso straight up and down. My balance is shot. My muscles are jello. Just take your time, deep breath. Try to keep your balance as best you can. Same thing on the other side. Whoop. Let's try that again. Nice and slow. Heel the butt. Pull that knee back behind you. Straight up and down. Alright, lay down on the ground for this next one. We're doing a torso stretch. So lay flat on your back and kick one leg off to the side. Stretch across, keep those shoulders flat down against the ground. Just let everything relax, breathe normally, don't hold your breath. Just try and bring that knee across the ground as best you can. If you want to, you can actually kind of pull on it and push down towards the ground, but make sure you're keeping that shoulder on the mat. And switch sides. Cobra next. Boy. Flip it around on your stomach. Hands by the base of your rib cage and nice and slow press up as high as is comfortable. If that back isn't quite flexible enough to get to a full extension on those arms, that's fine. You can go ahead and leave those elbows slightly bent. But try to lock them out if you can. Arch that head up. Try to stretch all the way through the front of that body. You might feel it in the front of that hip flexor, lower abdomen. And let it relax. We're going to be doing a deep glute stretch next. It's flat on your back. One leg crossed over top. Grab behind the leg, the bottom leg behind the thigh of the bottom leg, and pull it in as close as is comfortable. Feel it in the glute of the leg you have crossed over top. You might even feel it in that lower back if you have a particularly tight back after this. Same thing on the other side. Cross it over. Grab behind that thigh and pull in. Just pull in as close as is comfortable. Just get a decent amount of tension on there and just keep that tension consistent. Even as those muscles start to relax, just pull in just a little bit more. And let it relax. Oh, all right. That is the end of this very, very long 1,000-calorie workout. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it because this workout is complete. Again, thank you very, very much from the bottom of our heart for sticking around with us and helping us get to 5 million subscribers. That is absolutely amazing, and we cannot thank you guys more. So please stick around. We have plenty of awesome new things coming out in the future. And hopefully we'll be at 6 million in no time and you'll have another 1,000-calorie workout. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time.